I went on a trip to Zanzibar, Tanzania with my brother, and this is how much I spent down to the penny. I was there for 7 days and 6 nights, and my flight was $744.99. I flew from Boston to Zanzibar with a quick layover in Amsterdam. It was a round trip fare with Delta and Air France. If you're coming from the US, you have to get a visa, so that ended up being $101.50 per person. I got that online. You also have to get their travel insurance online, which was $44 per person. I also bought an eSIM with Holofly for $35.05 so I could have unlimited data for the week. We stayed at two accommodations. The first one was an all-inclusive. We booked a double standard room at Rio Jumbo. It was $444.30 per person, including the taxes. We really liked this resort and it was so much bigger than we thought it would be, which was nice. It was right on the beach, they had daily activities, and the buffet had so many options, which I loved. For the second hotel, we were on the southeast part of the island and stayed at Bamboo Zanzibar. It was $361.50 per person, and the property was really nice. They had great amenities. For example, they did our laundry every day and returned it that same day, which was awesome. This wasn't an all inclusive, but breakfast was included in the price. So every day we had breakfast. They were super kind, and it was like a yoga themed place, so it was really peaceful and relaxing. Definitely an aesthetic place to go. For excursions, we did a quad biking tour. That was $87 per person. We got to see two beautiful beaches. The first one was a sandbank and it was literally empty, so super beautiful. Like I just felt like I was on my own island. And then we got to visit a village and meet the locals, and that was really fun. We did a sunset boat tour for $20 and the views were amazing. They played drums, sang, danced, and they provided us with fresh fruit. For the rest of our excursion, I booked with a guide through Instagram. I found him, and his at is Let's Go to Zanzibar. His name is Fami, and this is everything that we did. We did a 1 day safari. We took a 40-minute flight from Zanzibar into the mainland, and we saw so many animals. We saw baboons, zebras, antelopes, lions, elephants, literally everything that I wanted to see. So I was super satisfied. This was definitely our most expensive excursion, but it was so worth it because when am I going to do a safari again? We also went to Nakupenda Beach and we got to relax and we were served fried fish, chicken, fries. They had rice and curry sauce for me because I'm a vegetarian. We went to Prison Island and saw the tortoises and learned about the history. And we also did a Stone Town tour. Another day we got to go to Nemba Island and snorkel with the fishes. And then we got to swim with dolphins, which was so unreal. I still can't believe this is in my phone. And then we relaxed and ate fruit with this beautiful view. The water is unreal. We went to Salam Cave and got to feed the turtles. I definitely recommend this place rather than the one up north. It's just more aesthetically pleasing. The water's clear. For all that, it was $767.50 per person. So 1 day safari, Nakupenda Beach, Prison Island, Stone Town, Nemba Island, Salam Cave, and transportation to and from all those excursions. A transfer from our first hotel to the second hotel and airport drop off was included in that price. For food, I spent $112.13. The first half of the trip was all inclusive, so the second half of the trip is when we really spent money on food. For transportation to and from those lunch and dinner spots, it was $22.72 per person, and we got taxis through our hotel. I spent $21.04 on souvenirs. I got clothes and a magnet. For tips, I spent $37.63. So in total, for everything, including flights, I spent $2,799.36 on my trip to Zanzibar. I think you can definitely make this cheaper, but you can also spend way more depending on what your vibe is. I will be making a series where I share how you can book everything and my honest opinions on everything I did. So like and follow for more. Bye!
So here's part two to my trip to Tanzania for my 30th birthday. So as mentioned in the previous video, we went to Kilimanjaro. We only went to for the famous Serval Safari. As I'm watching these videos, I literally couldn't stop saying, like, I cannot believe I'm literally standing in the middle of all of this. Like, the earth is so beautiful. These animals are so beautiful. Please, let's have a moment for the girlies. The girlies were serving. Like, our tour guide took this video, and it was like a whole production. Then it was the zebras. The first was the giraffes, now the zebras. I can't believe how, like, calm these zebras were. Like, I really hope they're not harming them. Ooh, this was the scariest part. This lion. And look, this is me. Like, it seemed so far away, but I was right there. They were right there. Like, all the animals, like, we were literally just walking in the middle of them, and they didn't do. And this is when we were leaving to our next destination. They were singing me happy birthday. Oh my God. Anyways, stay tuned for part 3.
They say that the moments that make us the most uncomfortable are often the very moments that help you grow the most. And for me, learning how to do things by myself. And so this is me, day 1, solo traveling to Zanzibar. We started off at JKIA since I'm currently in Kenya. The flight only lasted about an hour and 30 minutes, which I slept right through because it was 6 in the morning. As soon as we landed, the rain had just stopped, which is okay because Habibi, welcome to Zanzibar! My driver picked me up and we headed to the hotel. But one thing they do not tell you about Zanzibar, everything is literally so far away from each other. And so my very questionable hotel ride was an hour and 40 minutes away from the airport. But tell me why this man's gas was on E the whole entire ride.
Jump scare.
Made it to the hotel, which I was super excited about to see in real life because their Google website is very sketchy and I was scared when I first booked it, but all my fears went away when I arrived. Got my room key and literally moved into the hotel room like it was my own home. Now I don't know about you, but I feel like an apparel spritz is the one drink that screams vacation, so I had to get myself a virgin one because I just don't like to drink by myself. Is it just me? Chilled by the beach for the rest of the evening, and when it was time for dinner, I got cute, dressed up, and left my room. Anyway, we made it through day 1, and I'm realizing that doing things alone doesn't really mean feeling lonely. It means creating space to really be present. And so here's the good food, new places, and surprising yourself. See you on the next vlog. Bye.
Hey y'all, for my 28th birthday, I decided to book a luxury solo safari in the country of Tanzania. First, I started in the town of Kilimanjaro, which I saw the beautiful Mount Kilimanjaro from my hotel. Then we drove off to Arusha and we started our game drive in Tarangire National Park. Tarangire has abundance of elephants, it has zebras, it just had beautiful ranges of like different animals. And honestly, I was just in awe of everything. This was actually one of my favorite national parks. I love elephants and you'll see that throughout my videos. I'm a firm believer that at least once in your life you have to do a safari. It's something that I cannot explain, but the feeling is just so beautiful just to see wild animals just roaming throughout their habitat. On our way to the Serengeti, I got to see a beautiful view of the Ngorongoro crater, and on top of that, I got to stop at a Maasai village where they, did a dance for me. They showed me around their village and it was just beautiful. Now for the Serengeti. The Serengeti is so huge and you'll see that once you get there. I did see an abundance of lions. I did not see a live kill, but I did see them chomping on something. I'm not sure which animal that was. I saw a hyena and this just reminded me of the Lion King. It was just so beautiful. I got to see a lot more wild animals here. I got to see hippos, giraffes. I also got to see the great migration of the wildebeest. My obsession with giraffes and elephants couldn't be more clear, but I am obsessed with just how beautiful and majestic they look. And as you could see, it's like a whole pack of elephants just walking from one side to the other. And then this is the beautiful Great Migration. It's unreal. Me and my tour guide stopped here. We actually had lunch here, and I got to see thousands of wildebeest like migrate from one area to the next. So yeah. This is some clips of the Ngorongoro crater, which I also made.
This is crazy.
No, this is insane.
We doing this.
No, I can't. Like,
I know. Oh, don't have them. Oh.
this is insane. I think he just spit on me.
Okay.
I think a giraffe just spit on me. I hear the girlies want a cost breakdown of what we spent on our Tanzania trip, so let's just get right into it. We had round trip tickets from IAD to JRO, which is Kilimanjaro, with the layover in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. The total cost for 2 flights was $2,583, plus an additional $3,600 to upgrade to business class. Food and beverages were included in flight as well as with lounge access. So the grand total for flights was $61.83. Our first stay was in Tanzania mainland and Kilimanjaro. We stayed at Servo Wildlife, and the cost for our stay was $950 a night. We stayed here for 2 nights, bringing a grand total for this hotel to $1,900. Now, you can't travel all the way to Tanzania without visiting their beautiful island, Zanzibar. We booked a one-way with Precision Air from JRO to Zanzibar. It took an hour and 20 minutes to get there, and the total cost for 2 people was $388. We stayed at Kaskazi Hotel, which was $1812 for 4 nights. Breakfast and dinner were included with the exception of lunch. I feel like the lunch menu prices were pretty average for a hotel. You may spend anywhere between $40 to $100 depending on your appetite. We didn't get to do a whole lot of activities while in Zanzibar because I feel like you need at least a week. Of course, we had to do swimming with turtles, which was nearby the hotel. The cost was about $50 per person, which included round-trip transportation to and from the hotel. We also did a Stone Town walking tour to learn about the history, pick up some spices, and souvenirs. The cost was $70 per person, including transportation. Kaskazi Hotel also arranged our transportation to and from the airport, and that was $100 round trip. Servo Wildlife also arranged our transportation to and from JRO Airport, and that was $140 round trip. So altogether, we spent about $10,763. Please keep in mind that these prices may vary based on your particular needs, peak season, low season, etc. If y'all want to see some alternative hotels that we almost booked in Zanzibar, let me know. As always, leave any questions in the comments. Bye!
Top things to do in mainland Tanzania. Visit a Maasai tribe village. Tanzania is a beautiful country with so many different terrains, but Tanzania is way more than Zanzibar. One thing you cannot miss is to visit a Maasai tribe's village. I don't want to give away too many other surprises you'll experience, but here goes. First, the Maasai men and women give you the biggest greeting, and afterward, you take part in a warrior ritual, if you're brave enough. After the ritual, you eat lunch and you're shown around. Then you spend the day learning more about their life, their family structure, and important rituals. You will also learn tribal dances and songs and Maasai history. You can go on a light hike in the plains near Mount Kilimanjaro, or just relax and breathe in the freshest air ever. Like, I have never experienced this type of air, like no allergies, no asthma. And make sure you buy some of the hand-woven crafts from the village. The proceeds help put girls and boys into vocational school.
Wow.
Can I be honest? Zanzibar is definitely for the vacationer, and I consider myself a traveler. Due to terrible customer service by the airline, we ended up landing in Dar es Salaam and taking a very bumpy ferry to Zanzibar. The ferry experience was interesting, but I honestly do not recommend it. Personal space was non-existent. Once we finally made it to Zanzibar, we caught an Uber to our hotel, and that's when I realized how spread out the island really is. The drive was hours long. After that hour-long drive, the hotel was stunning. It was worth the drive. The gym, multiple pools, restaurants, hot tub, spa, and the whole nine. I got a massage on day one because my body was sore from traveling and it was much needed. Our hotel was beachfront, so we took a small boat to another part of the island, but the rain said turn back. We also did a spice tour, sampled fresh fruit, and visited Prison Island. The views were absolutely breathtaking. Zanzibar is definitely for the vacationer. The hotels are far from excursions and there aren't many restaurants nearby. So once you're at the resort, you're staying there.